Welcome back, folks. Hope you're enjoying coverage of this event so far. My name is Max Kahn, and joining me here is Caleb Scherer. Caleb, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty great, actually, Max.
Cool. So we've just got a couple questions so that the audience gets to know you a little better and your affiliation with TeamNRG.
Cool.
So the first question is, how long have you been playing Magic, and who taught you how to play?
I began playing Magic actually. I played it I had a few friends who played, so they introduced me to a game here, game there, like the summer of 2000. But I actually legitimately started playing in the fall, like a little bit, like about a month after Invasion was released of that year.
Cool.
So, and then as far as who taught me how to play, actually, I learned, most like a lot of the actual upper level skill or actually how to play like one land per turn and all that good stuff from my friend Nick, who was one of my Pokemon friends actually, since I played that game actually for about 6 months before Magic, and then finally kind of graduated.
So what made you step from the casual Magic scene to the competitive Magic scene?
To be honest, I basically jumped in almost as quickly as I could. So, I basically just made the progression from first go to the local card shop that I also went to for Pokemon, played in like their, pre F&M days, whatever, like, just Friday night,
Mhm.
have fun. And after that, I just kind of like did that for about 3 or 4 months. And then I heard about what PTQs were. So basically, Invasion Block Constructed rolled around, and I was already just kind of going into that and JSS and stuff. So.
So you stepped into competitive Magic, and since then you've done really well. You're actually the winner of the Las Vegas Star City Games Invitational. That was an amazing event. What do you think best prepared you for that event, and what do you take out of that event?
Well, as far as like preparation, luckily the previous week was the Open in Denver, which was the standard portion. So I basically got to kind of free roll that, testing. So I was just going in there. And then as far as for the modern portion, I just my buddy Ryan Fleischer just was like, "Hey, here's my affinity list. He's done great with it." So I just kind of trusted him with that as far as preparation.
So
Uh,
yeah,
mhm.
so the Invitational was standard and modern, but you're mainly known for your performance in Legacy, with Legacy Storm specifically. What made you choose Storm as your deck of choice, or the deck that you're known for?
Well, I when Scourge actually was originally released and they kind of spoiled Mind's Desire and Brain Freeze and all that good stuff, I was like, oh wow, um, really would love to jam this since I'd been playing a few combo decks for a few years prior to that. So it was like, oh, this is like literally the most combo mechanic ever made, as we've clearly seen by
Sure.
now. So I played it then in Standard first, and then of course I played Vintage for a long time, and once Legacy actually became kind of grew into its own as a format, like near the late 2000s, about 2010 or so, I actually picked up my first copy of Storm right before the banning of Mystical Tutor, and have been trying to basically pretty much play the mechanic as much as possible since, especially in Legacy, since and even Modern, as we've seen before.
So
But
you do play Modern Storm then?
yes, I played it for about 2 years, a lot longer than I probably should have. So. So I'm finally now on Affinity. So.
So what do you think about the support Legacy has in general now? Are you a fan of cutting back on Legacy events, or do you want as much Legacy as possible?
For me personally, Legacy right now is my favorite supported format. I wish every Open was Legacy personally, but I know that you know there are other factors at play. So, for me personally, it's not as great that there's less Legacy support. But I really, given that the legacy, there is kind of like the finiteness of the size of the tournaments, that they still support it every weekend just in case on Sundays, which I know that was what really kind of drove me through most of the year last year anyway, was just playing Legacy every Sunday anyway.
So
but
what's your
mhm.
favorite Magic related story on the Open series or otherwise?
Probably for me, my favorite story for myself, that at least most memorable, was like way back in 2002. I went to the JSS Nationals down in at Disney World when they used to host it there, and just being able to go there and then seeing like basically all your heroes that you're looking up to, and you're like a little kid, and it's just like the coolest thing ever. So personally for me.
So what's your favorite part about being on Team Nerd Rage Gaming?
Probably like mostly, of course, the people, and everyone. I'm friends, of course. With everybody, we have like Joe, the set's awesome. Eric Hawkins, Matthew Tickle. They're all great guys who it's like I really like enjoy working with them and coordinating, and then also it's also great. Like everyone at Nerd Rage Gaming is also really awesome. So to have been asked to be a part of that was just amazing. So that to me is awesome.
All right, so this is a question that was actually asked on Twitter. I posted before the interviews happened, and somebody replied. Andy Boswell actually replied, and he has a question for you. He says that you have a lot of, quote, MTG passion. What do you think MTG passion means, and how do you think you have that?
Well, I think of like MTV Passion is just kind of wanting to just do everything you can for the game itself, as well as just of course we all enjoy enjoy Magic. It's the best game ever. We all think that, but like for me personally, it's basically the most important thing to me in life. Most of the time, just because like this is what I want to do, and also the fact that now we have like the SCG Tour and all that good stuff, is that we can expand Magic and make it this as big as possible, and just everyone feel getting to enjoy what this is like. Every time you introduce like someone new to it, stuff like that, and also like introducing like new people to the game, like seeing like the next generation of people coming up. So like in 10 years, like you're seeing how that's going to keep going, and anything I can do to help that is just the best. And that's kind of like what drives me to also like want to keep doing this too, is like kind of that thing as well. It's not just for my own personal gain in any way. It's like obviously it's awesome to win a tournament, everyone knows that, but it's just like everything about this game. And also like even at tournaments, like the best part of it is hang out with all the community and just like chit-chatting about Magic and all that, not just these in-game scenarios. And all of that is to me just the best part of everything. That's why like every weekend, no matter what, I will make it happen to get to an open or something to play.
You're a big fan of introducing a lot of new people to the game.
Yeah.
So what are some misconceptions you think that non-Magic players have about Magic, and how would you like to change those?
Like one thing I do think that is slightly a misconception is that they think of it as like game D&D almost, in that, oh hey, it's kind of like your only like, of course we can like kind of like get into the flavor and stuff, but there's a lot of other stuff in it too, like math and things like that. If you look at like most of the grinders on the circuit have like either some sort of form of like background in mathematics or like CS or something. And there's like also like that kind of image as well, as like it's a very kind of not just nerdy thing, but also like oh hey, I can like learn all these life skills and all that other good stuff as well. Like that's kind of again another big misconception, is it's just a game. But I think that a lot of the skills that are used here are kind of very applicable to almost any academic discipline, or just how to get through life itself.
So another question that was asked to me on Twitter, and I think it's on every invitational winner's minds, and everybody that hopes to win an invitational, you got to make your own token. What is the coolest part about having your own token?
The coolest, like the most amazing thing is that it's not just hey, a creature token for me that I'll get to use in some decks. No, it's my storm token. So whenever I get to play my favorite format, it is just there, and it's like or like for me, it's just like that is so cool to be even just like a part of the Storm legacy throughout Magic and so forth.
Cool. So our final question is, I think it's the most important question. It's, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to every Magic player to improve their game or to improve how they think about themselves playing Magic, what would that piece of advice be?
Basically the best piece of advice you can ever have, as far as just to quickly start, I'd say getting better, is to always, whenever you have a match, if you ever lose, the assumption should be that you lost the game, and you have to disprove that. And basically, if you can think of it as like try to like even like always overestimating that part, like to make variance less of a part of the game, will help you start looking at yourself harder. And then like you have all the other skill sets and all the articles that have been written. You can kind of go down your own path to find what works for you. But that's kind of that's the way I've started to improve my game as well. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, Caleb, thanks so much for spending your time. Hope you enjoyed this interview with Caleb Scherer. Stay tuned to the rest of the day for more interviews with Team NRG. Caleb, thanks so much for spending the time.
Yeah, my pleasure.